Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Evan Bach, Andrew Roderick, Brian Thomas, and Garrett Dworshak. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to this non-league baseball game on a late Sunday afternoon, early evening affair with clouds again. 2 weeks ago, we were rained upon, and the canopy was constructed hastily over top of my head here in this broadcast vantage point adjacent to the McGrath family press box. And last night we were rained upon, and an umbrella was brought out and towels. And so these dark clouds kind of moving in here in the last few minutes make me a little nervous, but I think we'll be just fine as the Corvallis Knights continue a stretch of non-league games after sweeping Cascade Collegiate League in 2 games. Tonight, an opportunity to play the Mid-Valley Southpaws, the Albany American Legion team under the leadership of Coach Knight, Brooke Knight's first cousin, Troy Babbitt. We'll get to the lineups in a moment. But coming up next, Kellen Siegel, who had a big game last night. He pitched, he played left field, he hit, he did a lot of things well. Kellen's having a great summer. We'll get a conversation in with Kellen before we get to our starting lineups. The Knights will have tomorrow off and then resume league play against Ridgefield on Tuesday. We appreciate you joining us on AAA Day at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Corvallis Knights and the Mid-Valley Southpaws, sponsored by the outstanding pizza place and eatery in North Albany. The Mid-Valley Southpaws are here to take on the Corvallis Knights. Kellen Siegel joins us after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field following the Knights' 18-0 victory over CCL. There were a lot of highlights in the game, among which the night for Kellen Siegel, who both hit and pitched and did a great job. Kellen, in a game like this, I'm just curious to know what it's like for you and the guys when you're clearly the dominant team and you're going to win. You won 21-4 the previous night. How do you approach the game? What's your outlook on a game like tonight?
Yeah, I mean, these games can be tough. They can be trap games, but you always got to just find ways to get better in the game, work on stuff like base running, simple stuff that, you can't simulate in practice. So that's why it's good to stay focused during these games because they can get hard and boring and lose focus. It's also a good time to get at bats, and especially for me, haven't gotten a lot, so took advantage of that tonight and had some fun.
Kellen, it was good to see. In fact, I thought at first your luck was going to be bad tonight because I thought in your first ground ball you were safe. Then you hit a base hit and they call you out. So what were you thinking of those first two outs?
I mean, the first one I got the RBI, but I was clearly safe, but I was fine with it because I know, it is what it is. I'm not going to change that call. And then the second one, I don't even know what happened. Supposedly he dropped it. The dude came by me and said he caught it. I don't know, but I'll take the hit for sure. It's kind of crazy.
Brooke did a good job to argue on your behalf because I think the kid trapped it or he played it on one hop. But that kind of opened things up a little bit, for you. So the bad luck turned good. Mm-hmm. But then when you talk about working on things, that was impressive to me. Even late in the game, the final run, I think you tagged, you drew a throw, and you end up scoring. Is that the kind of stuff you're talking about that you just got to pay attention to detail no matter what the score is?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, especially a big thing going into night, we talked a lot about base running. And we've put in some early work earlier this week. And it showed in these games. We executed everything. I mean, didn't really have any mistakes, I think. I mean, competition wasn't great, but I mean, we executed, and that's all we can ask for.
And Kellen, then on the mound, you get to finish the game. How did you feel there, too? I mean, you got to take everything. Everything matters. Mm-hmm. So you went out and looked like you executed some good pitches.
Yeah, I was just trying to calm myself down, just tagged, sprinted to the bullpen, threw a ton of pitches, sprinted back on the mound. It's kind of out of breath there, so I kind of just had to find myself and just fill up the zone because that's kind of all we needed at that point in the game.
Kellen, what was it like now? This is the summer. You want to keep doing the best you can to try to bring home another championship for an organization that your dad founded, that you've been around forever. What does it mean to you to get to be a potential part, as you were last year, and part of it, maybe another championship run?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to keep that streak going. And, I mean, it sucks to lose. So we never want to do that. We just want to keep winning. And I think, especially with this club, I can see it coming soon. I'm pretty excited for playoffs.
Kellen, what has it been like to grow up in this dugout, in this ballpark, with your father, with your brother, with your whole family being all in on this? You must remember this from almost your earliest memory.
Yeah, it's been amazing growing up here. I mean, it's really kind of shaped my love for the game of baseball, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And especially being around a great culture like this, it just led me in a great path, and I'm really happy where I'm at right now.
Kellen Siegel with me a little bit longer. Kellen, you had a big spring, too, and got to be a part of an NWAC championship team. What was that like for you?
Oh, that was awesome. That was a great group of guys who wasn't the most talented team out there, but we grinded. We had a ton of one-run games, came back. We never gave up, and that was something super special this year.
You feel like you can run it back with the guys you got coming back there at LB next year?
Yeah, I'm super excited to go back next year and go for another one. Go back-to-back. I'll have the chance to be a sophomore, be a bigger leader on the team. And I think we got a great squad next year, and I'm super excited.
Final thing, Kellen, and that is looking around at this scene. You had over 2,000 in here tonight for ball night and kids signing autographs after the games. And this has been a culture and a scene you've been a part of for a long time. But what does it mean to you to be one of the players now signing the autographs for these guys?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I kind of think back to the times when I was the kids going down the line, getting everybody's autograph. But, I mean, it's just special. It's special for the kids. They all love it. And, I mean, it brings them back to the park, and that's all we can ask for.
Kellen, it's great to see you again. You look great, doing everything well. Excited to see what's ahead for you and the rest of the guys this summer. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
It's Kellen Siegel, my guest. We've got more coming up as the Knights and the Mid-Valley Southpaws square off. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Knights live stream. Well, hello again, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Garrett Dworshak running the show back in our 1240 Joe radio studios. Evan, Andrew, and Brian running the live stream. Yours truly, Mike Parker. Thanking you for joining us for this non-league affair on an overcast, again, but pleasant, late Sunday afternoon. For the Mid-Valley Southpaws, under Brooke Knight's first cousin, Troy Babbitt. Leading off and playing shortstop, Bryant Starr. Batting second at third base, Drew Rice. Aiden Metzger hitting third at second. First pitch from Knight's left-hander, Grant Clevenger, is a fastball, foul back by Bryant, and we are underway. Bryant Starr, out of Lebanon High School and attending Andy's fine program, PD at LB. Clevenger's strike one pitch, fastball in there, strike two. Cam Johnson, Ryan Gorton's stepson. Ryan, the director of operations for Oregon State baseball. Camden's mother, Laura, in the ballpark here with Ryan tonight, watching the action. Clevenger's strike two pitch, fastball fouled into the netting. The count remains 0-2. Thomas Byler hitting sixth in left field. Now, Brett Babbitt, by the way, hitting fifth. The first baseman, Cam Johnson, the cleanup hitter in right. Byler hitting sixth in left. Andrew Yost batting seventh, the designated hitter. Off speed from Grant. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Bryant Starr strikes out to open our non-league Sunday afternoon affair. Wyatt Jenkins hitting eighth and catching for the Southpaws. Zach Lyon batting ninth at third base. And on the mound is Marcus Allen getting the start as the pitcher for Mid-Valley. The first pitch to Drew Rice. He takes a hack and fouls it directly over the McGrath family press box to the main entrance of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Marcus Allen getting the start out of West and Umpqua Community College. The strike one pitch from Grant misses in the turf. 1 ball and 1 strike to Drew Rice in the 2-hole for Coach Babbitt's Southpaws out of West Albany High School. Clevenger back to the plate. The 1-1 fastball off the handle of the bat, I believe, of Drew Rice, the right-handed hitter to the backstop. That runs the count to 1-2. Aiden Metzger next. For the Knights defensively, a battery of Clevenger and Cole Snido. Grant nods yes. Pitching coach Cole Stringer said hopes to get 4 innings at least from Grant this afternoon before Grant is actually going to be leaving tomorrow for a few days. He'll miss the Ridgefield series, something that he's been very responsible about asking months ago. Dan Siegel and Brooke Knight, hey, during this series when we play Ridgefield and the 4th of July and all of that, my brother's going to be pitching in our hometown. Could I go see him at the major league level? Pitch is swung on and hit foul into Urchin Alley to our right. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. And because he went about it so circumspectly and not like today, hey, after the game, I'd like to get on a plane and go see my brother. He's been preparing the way before him for months. And the answer from Dan and Brooke was yes. And Grant will leave with members of his host family. Amber Bending and the boys, the twins, Grant and Gage, will leave with Grant Clevenger tomorrow for Kansas City. Grant hails from Lawrence, but they'll have a chance to see Garrett pitch in the major leagues as Tampa Bay visits the Kansas City Royals. 2-2 pitch, a fly ball into shallow left center field. Collier and Wheeler on the move, as is shortstop Tai Yukamoto. And the ball lands for a base hit for Drew Rice, and something that Drew, the young man standing in out of West Albany High School, gets a 1-out single against a guy who's a pitcher at Nebraska. So that's good stuff indeed for Drew Rice. Aiden Metzger, the hitter. Aiden out of West Albany High School and attending Umpqua Community College. A 1-out single for Drew. Out of the stretch works Clevenger, and his fastball misses inside. Ball 1, 1-0. For the Knights. It's Grant Clevenger and Cole Snido, the battery. Coulter McAnally at first, Peyton Miller at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Kaysen Concerina at third, Houston Wheeler in left, C.J. Collier in center, Kellen Siegel in right. The pitch misses in the turf, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. I thought I heard Blake Wilson's name announced as I was making my way to this vantage point, listening to and it does look more like Blake at shortstop, so I'm going to have to double check. Fastball from Grant misses, a late break from the runner, Drew Rice, and not only does he have a base hit playing up, he gets a stolen base as well. Good base running by Drew as the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes to Aiden Metzger. My binoculars, I have Colby from the analytics team going to my car out in the trees area beyond the left field fence. I'm hoping to retrieve my binoculars case. The 3-0 pitch is a strike. Okay. The count 3-1. I said strike a little bit like Leslie did, and the naked gun strike. And Jay Johnstone approved, and the crowd approved, and the act was on. Little moonwalking, calling balls and strikes, and one of the best baseball scenes in a movie ever. Out of the stretch works Grant, the 3-1 pitch, ball 4. Now that one way inside, as I thought the previous pitch was, but this is ball 4. So Metzger is aboard, and good for the Mid-Valley Southpaws, putting some competitive at-bats together here early. We've got a team from Philomath, the softball team here, in uniform coming in. They've got some action going tomorrow. The name of the team I want to see on the jersey again is officially the Billy Scott Real Estate 13 and 14-year-old softball team from Philomath. Thank you. All here in the ballpark together just below my vantage point with their uniforms on. Cam Johnson, the aforementioned, playing at Umpqua Community College out of West Albany High School. Camden takes inside ball 1. 1-0. I asked Laura, Cam's mother, do you call him Cam or Camden? She said, that depends. Michael, the 1-0 fastball, Camden, is in there for a strike. Hey, Cam, how you doing? That type of thing. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cam Johnson. I remember those days well. Michael usually had a little, eat your peas, Michael. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No score, top of the first. Fastball in there for a strike. And the count 1-2. Ed Smith, the home plate umpire this afternoon. Dan Clements, the base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Drew Rice at second. Aiden Metzger at first. 1-2 to Cam Johnson. Coach Babbitt down at third. In about his 10th overall year, second straight since the revival of the Legion program. Camden swings and hits 1 foul towards Urchin Alley. The first action into the alley tonight. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. I fear that Colby is having a hard time finding those binoculars. I gave him the keys to my automobile quite a while ago and tried to give him the location of the car and the binoculars, and he ain't back yet. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. The pitch on the way, down and in. Ball 2, 2-2. So certainly far from a breeze for left-hander Grant Clevenger against this American Legion team, the Mid-Valley Southpaws. The program shut down for a couple of years. Coach Babbitt had been the head coach of the Mid-Valley Rockets for 8 years, revived under the sponsorship of the Mid-Valley Southpaws now in their second year. The 2-2 pitch to Johnson is stroked to right center field. The outfielders were playing fairly shallowly. C.J. Collier races over to make the catch in the gap. Good contact for Cam Johnson. It is an out, but a well-hit baseball on the part of Cam Johnson. And the Knights outfielders deployed in a pretty shallow disposition had to hustle to get there. 2 down, and Brett Babbitt, the batter. Brett out of West Albany High School and is indeed the son of the head coach for the Mid-Valley Southpaws, Troy Babbitt, coaching down at third. Troy, a former professional player himself. And again, first cousins with our own Brooke Knight. First pitch fastball swung on and fouled back. 0-1 to Brett. Troy went to Cypress College. He grew up in the Anaheim area. Went to Cypress College, then played 3 years of professional baseball in the Kansas City Royals organization, then 1 year of independent ball for none other than Tom Troublehorn in the summer of 1995. And growing up in Anaheim, he said he was a huge fan of the Angels, and he remembers all too painfully Greg Smith, the home plate umpire, walking over to get some new baseballs for the purpose of game day. Ed visits with Cole Stringer, the Knights pitching coach, for a moment. Not quite sure what's going on here, but some new baseballs have been put into play. In the meantime, Cole Snido out to talk to Grant Clevenger, and Ed Smith still engaged in a conversation with Cole Stringer, and now the base umpire, Dan Clements, kind of comes in, perhaps to ask, I think, what we're all asking, hey, partner, what's going on? But we will carry on here after an odd delay. Coach Babbitt remembers all too well with pain in the game. As Bart Giamatti said, the late commissioner and president, the game is designed to break your heart, and that's for sure, and we've all had our hearts broken. He said his as a sixth grader when Hendu hit the homer off Donnie Moore in Game 5 to spark the Red Sox comeback. And the repercussions of that homer still being felt in some respects. The strike one pitch from Grant swung on and missed in the count 0-2. 3 years later, Donnie Moore took his own life. Donnie gave up the pitch, and people who were friends with gave up the home run to Hendu to lift the Red Sox to that miraculous come-from-behind win. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The strike 2 pitch from Grant, breaking ball down and in the count 1-2. Gene Mauch had a 3-1 lead, and it felt as though Mauch was mocked in those final moments. An out, a strike away from his only World Series, one and only look at it. Baylor homered, Hendu homered. The Red Sox won the series after being down 3-1. A little comebacker. Clevenger fields and underhands to first to get Brett Babbitt, and Brett's papa, Troy, remembers it all too well. He said one of the worst losses as a fan he'd ever known. That was an amazing Game 5 in 1986. Angels and Red Sox. Here in the top of the first, no runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first inning of this non-league affair. The Mid-Valley Southpaws, nothing. The Knights coming up on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the first inning, no score. The Mid-Valley Southpaws with a mild threat in the top of the inning. That's to their credit, to be sure. The Knights have just taken care of business 21-4 and 18-0 the last 2 nights. Brook Knight was saying he expects today to be pretty competitive. He remembers a game when Mid-Valley almost beat him a few years ago. Coulter McAnally takes a strike from Marcus Allen. Marcus comes back with a breaking ball pulled fair by the diving Drew Rice, and down the left field line heading to the corner. McAnally on his way for 2, and will get there standing up. So a good start for the Knights offensively as the sun begins to burn through. We started off in overcast conditions, but it's very bright at the moment, which will make it difficult for Thomas Byler out in left field. Thomas just got the ball back in on the double down the left field line. Blake Wilson, the hitter, so I'm scratching Ty Yukamoto and putting Blake in. I thought it was Blake. Ty was originally in the starting lineup, a late scratch, and now Blake Wilson to the plate. Blake learned, as I did, from Ben Crockett here today, young Ben telling me that Washington head baseball coach Jason Kelly has taken a job as the pitching coach with Texas A&M in its new era of baseball. After A&M got schlossnageled. The first pitch to Blake Wilson in there for a strike. Schlossnagel, a proverb now among the people. What happened? Oh, we got schlossnageled. The worst part about getting schlossnageled was Schlossnagel getting all over the reporter for asking a perfectly legitimate question and doing so in a very rude, mean-spirited way to the poor guy, and then was gone the next day after calling him out. You're being selfish, you're this, you're that. Come on. That's the worst part of the schlossnageling that took place recently. Blake Wilson takes outside. The count 1-1. No score, bottom of the first. Coulter going to third, and we'll get there without a play. Coulter McAnally with a steal. No throw from Wyatt Jenkins. The count 2 balls and a strike to Blake Wilson. So Blake will have a new head coach at Washington, but you wonder too sometimes these types of changes, whether Blake may have a different outlook about what's going on with his own career and whether Blake might consider moving on, as so many young student athletes are doing. Blake playing at Washington, but from Southern California, Trabuco Canyon. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blake Wilson. Coulter McAnally at third, nobody out. 2-2 breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. 1 away in the bottom of the first inning. Good pitch from Marcus Allen. Marcus, again, out of West Albany High School and Umpqua Community College. And with 1 out, Kaysen Consorenia, the batter, with, I feel like, about as warm as it's been all day right now. A little past 5 o'clock, and I did see about 80 degrees earlier. I think we're sitting right in that range right about now. Very pleasant conditions. Colby found the binoculars, by the way, not in the car. Thank you for retrieving them, Colby. Kaysen takes outside, ball 1. Marcus Allen back to the plate and misses. Kaysen in the 3-hole at third. Luke Lavin on deck, the designated hitter. Batting 5th in right field, Kellen Siegel. C.J. Collier hitting 6th in center field. Cole Snido batting 7th and catching. The pitch on the way, misses high. Oh, well, no, it didn't. A very late call. Very late. That's the problem here. Ed Smith calls it a strike. And it felt like not necessarily from here to eternity before he called it, but close. A long time after the pitch had been caught and almost thrown back to the umpire. The right arm went in the air. So now the 2-1 pitch, a chopper back up the middle. Shortstop Brian Stark fires to first for the out. On the play, Coulter McAnally comes in to score. An RBI ground out for Kaysen Consorenia. 1-0 Knights, and Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, coming up. Batting 8th in left field, Houston Wheeler. Peyton Miller batting 9th at second base, and Grant Clevenger's already put up a 0 in the top of the first inning. 1-0 Knights in the bottom of the first, a day off tomorrow. The Ridgefield Raptors in on Tuesday. The final 3 games of the first half schedule. Allen delivers off speed away and ball 1. Tuesday and Wednesday here. Wednesday, the big fireworks extravaganza. The game time is 7:15. And then a game at Ridgefield on Thursday. Lavin swings and lifts one foul off to the left and out of play towards the TNT Builders party deck to even the count at 1-1. Marcus Allen and Wyatt Jenkins, the battery for the Southpaws. Brett Babbitt at first, Aiden Metzger at second, Bryant Stark at short, Drew Rice at third, Thomas Byler in left, Zach Lyon in center, Cam Johnson in right. The 1-1 pitch from Marcus misses high and away, ball 2, 2-1 to Luke Lavin. 1-0 Knights in the bottom of the first inning. Allen back to the plate. And the 2-1 pitch is high. I've got to treat each pitch and the subsequent call or determination by the umpire a la Fields with Cleopatra Pepper Day, and whether she really was done singing or not, and it's the old-fashioned way. The 3-1 pitch lifted foul off third, and that too is heading towards the TNT Builders party deck as the count goes full to 11 at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fields was very uncertain, as Jan Dugan sang, gathering up the shells by the seashore, and he thought several times she was done singing the beautiful tune and was getting up to try to applaud her. Wonderful, wonderful. You were. And she kept breaking into another verse, and finally he said, "You really are done." Okay, and she finally was done. With Ed Smith, I can't quite tell what he's going to say or do. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Not much to decide here. Luke Lavin is hit by the pitch and trots down to first. And Kellen Siegel, my pregame show guest, will be the batter. Really enjoyed the conversation with Kellen. You could really hear in his voice how appreciative of he is growing up here, being one of the kids as he grew up here, watching the Knights play, getting autographs from the players he looked up to. Now he's one of them. I watched him last night before he sat down with me, taking time with the youngsters to sign autographs, and it wasn't lost on him that he's now one of those guys that he grew up really enjoying watching play in this ballpark. Kellen takes a strike, 0-1 the count, 1-0 Knights, bottom of the first. Fastball swung on and missed. Kellen going after a pitch that was elevated up and in and missed it. 0-2 the count. C.J. Collier on deck. The Knights getting a double from Colter McAnally to open the inning, have a run on the board and lead it 1-0. Allen delivers and misses with the breaking ball low, ball 1-2. Brooke Knight coaching at third. Ed Nags coaching at first. Allen's 1-2 pitch misses down. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kellen. Coach Knight goes through the signs. Luke Lavin studies the skipper across the way. Amber Bending walking through the Jack Riley concourse. She's leaving for Kansas City tomorrow. Kellen Siegel, a drive to left. Thomas Byler dealing with the sun out there. Does so a little bit better than Brian Buxton did earlier today at T-Mobile Park when he just ducked out of the way of a fly ball. And the Twins ended up winning the ball game. Byler makes the catch, and the Twins won it, by the way, on a 2-run home run by a fellow you may have heard of by the name of Trevor Larnach. The Knights get a run. We go to the second. The Knights won and Mid-Valley nothing back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Thomas Byler leads things off against Grant Clevenger with the Knights leading 1-0. First ball swinging, breaks his bat, a little tapper back to Grant Clevenger. Grant fields cleanly, shovels to Coulter McAnally. 1 pitch, 1 gone in the top of the second. That brings Andrew Yost to the plate, the designated hitter. Andrew backs away from the first pitch. Ball 1, 1-0. Andrew out of West Albany High School. I've made inquiries but have not gotten a satisfactory answer or any kind of answer. Is he related to Aaron? That's my question, but nobody seems to know, not even Brooks Hatch. Andrew pops one up on the right side. First baseman Coulter McAnally makes the catch. If any of you out there listening and are able to connect with me and know the answer to that, feel free. I'd love to know if indeed there is a connection with the fine sports writer for many, many years, the Albany Democrat-Herald, Aaron Yost. Andrew Yost from West Albany. Somehow, some way in my heart of hearts, I think there's got to be some kind of familial relation there. But perhaps not. 2 down, nobody on. 1-0 Knights in the second. Wyatt Jenkins takes a strike. The count 0-1. Wyatt out of Lebanon High School. The 1-0 fastball. Good pitch, swung on and missed. The count 1-1 already. Now, I know the game is quite young. The Southpaws are 10-6 in their Legion schedule so far this summer. Clevenger delivers. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 2, I believe. Well, we must have missed a pitch somewhere along the way. That's strike 3, and the inning is over. I don't think the rules codified by Joy Cartwright and others changed. I still think it's 3 strikes and you're out, but we must have missed one somewhere along the way. Strike 3, and Clevenger retires the side in order. This game already, though, has a more competitive feel than the last couple of games. The Knights have won 21-4 and 18-0. We are 1.5 in on this early Sunday evening. The Knights 1 and Mid-Valley Southpaws 0 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. C.J. Collier leading things off for the Knights in the bottom of the second. The Knights leading the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1-0. C.J. takes a strike from Marcus Allen. The strike 1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball just missed. And the count 1-1. Even hearing the name and seeing the name on the roster and calling out Marcus Allen on this, the final official day of the Pac-12 conference, there's a degree of sadness. Collier pounds one foul into his front foot. USC and UCLA, in a very real sense, were they began it 2 summers ago when they left, and the clock began to tick on the end of the great Conference of Champions. And it breaks my heart, it pains my heart to think. I mean, this is it. Today's it. There's no more. This is the last day. The conference officially, as we've known it, as the Pac-12. This is the final day of the Pac-12 networks. Today, the 1-2 pitch. Collier drives it to center field. Zach Lyon going back, still going back. It carries over his head, off the wall, off the top of the fence. C.J. digging for 3, and he will get there standing up. A leadoff triple for C.J. Collier. Good swing. That ball driven to about the 395 mark on a hop. Nearly went over the orange padding, which would have constituted an automatic double. But in this case, because it didn't, it enabled Collier to get all the way to third. CJ, a good athlete, little problem recording the triple. And now Cole Snido, the batter, to try to put the Knights up 2-0. The infield back at normal depth for the Southpaws. First pitch is swung on and fouled at the plate. No balls and one strike on this 30th of June, 2024, the final official day of the great conference. It feels more like a spring kind of day, and that heat, the sun I was talking about moments ago, well, here come the clouds again. The picture is darkened considerably, and the temperature feels a lot cooler. Cole Snido is hit in the left arm on the next delivery from Marcus Allen, and that one hurt a little bit, and Cole's taking some time, bent at the waist and letting that left arm dangle a little bit. Head coach Troy Babbitt will go out and talk to Marcus Allen. And Brook Knight, Troy's cousin, comes down to take a look at the spot where that ball hit Cole in the left arm. It appeared to be up around the bicep area. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Houston Wheeler will be the batter. But any of you who have been around the conference for a while, the name Marcus Allen, not only greatness, of course, in the NFL, but one of the transcendent players in the history of the conference, a running back for USC in the Pac-10 and ultimately Pac-8. I think he began in the Pac-8 and finished in the Pac-10, did Marcus. But it's just sad to think now that it's no more. However, the intellectual history and all of those things won in the settlement. So the Pac-12 continues just as a two-member conference. Cole Snido, tough kid, looks as though he's going to play on. And Cole will, kind of letting that, it's not a comfortable feeling at all. He's kind of shaking the left arm, bending it a little bit, and walking down to first, but he's going to stay in the game. And Houston Wheeler will be the batter with runners at first and third, and nobody out. The Knights leading 1-0 in the bottom of the second. But all of the highlights and the archived games and all of that, I still believe will be in the possession of the Pac-12 Conference and the newfangled enterprise known as Pac-12 Enterprises. The pitch on the way to Houston Wheeler misses inside, ball one. I don't quite know what that means. I don't think the Pac-12 Enterprises, with only two schools left, Oregon State and Washington State, will say to USC, no, you can't have the Marcus Allen highlights. We own them. No, it's not going to be quite like that. The 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2-0, but the intellectual property, the history, the records, and all of that still are in the Pac-12 and could still very much be a viable part of it if the Pac-12 gets rebuilt out. That's one of the options, of course, on the table is the possibility of getting absorbed into another league, the Big 12. The implosion of the ACC appears to be forthcoming, a la USC and UCLA leaving Florida State and Clemson cast in similar roles. There's a lot to keep our eye on through the remainder of the summer and throughout the next calendar year. About a year from now, we got to know, Washington State and Oregon State do what's next. The 2-1 pitch missing inside to Houston, ball 3-1, 1-0 Knights, first and third, nobody out. The 3-1 pitch is ball 4 to load them up. Peyton Miller will be the hitter. Now Peyton will come to the plate with Coulter McAnally on deck. Brook Knight is looking into his dugout, and I have a feeling that by doing so, Brook is indicating that Cole Snido is just, the pain continues in that left arm. So in a non-league game and all of that, no matter what, league game, championship game, whatever, the player's health is first and foremost. But I saw Cole walk off the field, down the dugout steps, and immediately head towards the trainer's room in the clubhouse behind the Corvallis Knights dugout. The pitch to Peyton Miller is pulled foul outside of third. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. So Tyler Howard will run and stay in the game and catch. Tyler comes on as a pinch runner for Cole here in the second. That Mariners game won today on the big home run by Trevor Larnach also featured Luis Castillo batting because Scott Service, trying to stimulate a moribund offensive attack, started 2 catchers. Ground ball to short. Stark goes to second for 1 and on to first for a double play. Stark to Metzger to Brett Babbitt. Peyton Miller grounds into the 6-4-3 double play. On the play, C.J. Collier comes in to score. The Knights lead it 2-0. Tyler Howard goes into third. But that's certainly an exchange that Troy Babbitt, and the Mid-Valley Southpaws are happy to make. Give up a run in exchange for 2 outs. The first pitch to Coulter McAnally rolled foul outside of third. No balls and a strike. 2 outs. Tyler Howard, the pinch runner at third. Manager Service just trying to get some life in his offense. Started a catcher and then another catcher at DH. And when one of the catchers, I can't remember exactly the sequence, got hurt, the Mariners ended up losing their DH, and Luis Castillo had to hit. And he took 3 pitches. Coulter McAnally, a line drive base hit to right field. Coming down the line to score is Tyler Howard. Coulter, who doubled last inning, gets an RBI single to right here, and the Knights lead it 3-0. That'll bring Blake Wilson to the plate. Blake struck out last inning against Marcus Allen. There's always a risk involved if you play both of your catchers in the lineup, one catching, the other, in this case, DHing, and Luis Castillo had to go to the plate. I was very disappointed in watching that play out today. I don't get to see much Major League Baseball. I enjoy the Mariners, like them a lot, like their telecasts, love their broadcasters. So today I leaned in a little more than usual. Blake Wilson takes high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch with a runner going, a chopper to short, fielded by Bryant Stark. Good arm and a good throw over to first to get Wilson, and the inning is over. This team is playing a better brand of baseball, quite frankly, than what we saw the last couple of nights. The Knights do get 2 runs, but a leadoff double brought Castillo to the plate with the Mariners down a run. A leadoff double, Castillo thrust into the spot to have to hit for himself, and he just stood there, did not swing the bat, and took 3 fastballs down the middle from Ryan, the starter for Minnesota. And the whole situation screamed and called for a bunt, but he's probably never practiced it. They don't practice it. So he just stood there. Might as well not have even had a bat in his hand. Took 3 fastballs and back to the dugout. Meanwhile, the runner stayed at second with nobody out in a 1-run game. When if they could have moved him, they would have had a chance to get him home. But that isn't how baseball is played these days anymore. The Knights get 2. We go to the third. The Knights 3, and the Mid-Valley Southpaws nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Left-hander Grant Clevenger with a 3-0 lead, ready to go to Zach Lyon out of Lebanon High School. The first pitch to Zach. Fastball outside, ball one. Zach followed by Bryant Starr and then Drew Rice. Grant back to the plate, fastball in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Knights baseball presented by the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights, Best Western Corvallis. Check swing and a fastball on appeal. No swing, says Dan Clements. 2-1 the count. Best Western is close to Goss, the largest hotel rooms in the city, an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. The 2-1 pitch. Grant misses for ball 3. 3-1. 3-0 Knights in the third, and the third consecutive non-league game for the Knights. Clevenger delivers a fastball in there, and the count 3-2. A day off tomorrow. Ridgefield Tuesday. Brooke Knight said that this time has been good for players to kind of get some different kinds of experiences, rest up as needed. The 3-2 pitch taken, strike 3 called. Zach Lyon struck out looking 2 down, 1 out, and the third strikeout for Grant Clevenger. One of those players, Thomas Ferragaro, kind of tweaked a hammy a few games ago, but Brooks said Thomas should be ready to go come Tuesday when Ridgefield comes to town. Bryant Starr struck out to open the game. He steps in again against Grant and takes first pitch a little outside, ball 1, 1-0. Grant's 1-0 pitch hit foul, and this one gets over the upper grandstand and down into Urchin Alley to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The 1-1 pitch hit to the same spot into the alley. And so the kids already had moved into the vicinity to chase down the previous foul ball. And another one plops in. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bryant Starr. 3-0 Knights in the second. Clevenger bounces his off-speed pitch, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away in the third. Clevenger working the third base side of the slab. The big lefty out of Nebraska delivers, and so does Bryant Starr. A line drive base hit to left field. Houston Wheeler gets the ball back in. That's the second hit off of Grant Clevenger, and it brings Drew Rice, who has the other one, to the plate. Drew out of West Albany High School. But Coach Babbitt has clearly done a nice job with this group. They play the game well. Their approach offensively has been sound, and they're making some contact and making Grant Clevenger work. Grant to the plate. First pitch hit over my head, foul. Off of Dixon Rec into Urchin Alley at the other end, and the kids are giving mad chase. So they're getting some good action in the alley. No balls and 1 strike the count to Drew Rice. The Knights are running the first and 2 in the second. A 1-out single here for Bryant Starr, who goes, and the pitch goes to the backstop. And Bryant Starr is in safely with a stolen base. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. So it's a great credit thus far to Troy Babbitt and his Mid-Valley Southpaws club. Great to have them back, too, after a hiatus, whether it was COVID-related. I don't know the full story. But Troy had been coaching them when the Legion program was shut down for a couple of years, but he's back now in his second year. And great opportunity for these young men to play a high level of summer baseball. The Star Spangled Tournament going on over at Hanson Stadium at Taylor Field this week with Girding Builders and a lot of the other Legion teams from around the region gathered for an annual tremendous event on the baseball landscape in our community. The pitch missing in the count, 2-1 to Drew Rice. Grant Clevenger back to the plate. The 2-1 pitch fouled straight back. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Bryant Starr at second and 1 out. in the top of the third. Tyler Howard indeed pinch running and taking over back of the plate, waiting to receive Grant Clevenger's 2-2 pitch. The lefty comes, and it's grounded to the hole at short and through into left field for a base hit. Bryant Starr on his way to the plate and will score. And the Mid-Valley Southpaws are on the board. Into second base on the throw to the plate grows Drew Rice, who's 2 for 2 with an RBI. The Knights 3 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1. And that'll bring Aiden Metzger to the plate. Metzger, a graduate from West and competing soon now. He'll be at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg next year. First pitch from Grant Clevenger. Breaking ball down and in. Ball 1, 1-0. 3-1 Knights in the third. Back-to-back base hits from Bryant Starr and Drew Rice. Both teams with 3 hits in this ball game. And a very creditable effort here early for this Mid-Valley Southpaws club. Ground ball wide of third into the hole area at short. Grabbed by Wilson and no play. And another base hit. This one an infield single for Aiden Metzger. The only chance the Knights had to get an out would have been if Consarini had been able to spear the ball to his left. He couldn't. It got to the hole at short. No chance for Blake Wilson, even had he fielded cleanly, would not have had an opportunity to throw out Metzger. So 3 straight hits for the Mid-Valley Southpaws. Camden Johnson, who drove the ball well for an out in the first, will come to the plate. So runners at first and second with 1 out. Grant Clevenger being challenged by this pesky Mid-Valley Southpaws club. Grant with the high set position, the lefty to the plate, and misses very high. Ball 1, 1-0. Grant 6'5", 225, the dimensions given in the Jerry Hubbard, Jerry Reed song, A Thing Called Love. 1 ball and no strikes. Grant back to the plate. Fastball in there. Maybe 6'6", 225. Yeah, 6'6". So not quite in the Jerry Reed school, but close. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Unless, did Smith not call that a strike? I don't know what's going on. It says 2-0 on the scoreboard. The pitch was clearly a strike, and I thought he raised his right arm to indicate so, but Glenda may know better in the McGrath family press box. I was told by Dan Siegel just to take a deep breath today. The pitch misses, and I hope that the umpire puts up his fingers so I can get a feel for what the count is. It's either 3-0 or 2-1. He's yet to put up the fingers to indicate. And so I'm just going to have to watch the next pitch now as we kind of play a detective game together, trying to figure things out as we go. The 3-0 pitch, a strike. I'm going to go with the 3-0 because I haven't seen him indicate anything else. So now it's 3-1. Yeah, sometimes umpires will see up on the scoreboard that the count isn't correct and will flash and wiggle the fingers to indicate what the real situation is. 2 on, 1 out. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball low for ball 4 to load the bases. Good plate appearance for Cam Johnson. Here comes Brooke Knight out to the mound. And whether he's going to make a pitching change now or not, I don't know. But whatever the case, I know this isn't the kind of note Grant would have wanted to go out on in terms of his long-awaited trip. I think we're going to see a pitching change here. I see some movement around. Blake Wilson, the Knights shortstop, is heading into the dugout for some reason. Tai Yukamoto looks as though he's going out to play shortstop. So I'm not sure what all this movement is about. Grant is coming out, leaving with a 3-1 lead, and the bases loaded and 1 out. And I don't know if that means Blake Wilson is coming in to pitch, perhaps, and getting a different glove. Nope, we do have somebody coming out of the bullpen for the Knights. And Blake ran down to the dugout, and Tai Yukamoto now on the field. So a little bit of mystery going on here. And I think for maybe the biggest thing is Grant, not necessarily, who's been pitching well, having more trouble with the Mid-Valley Southpaws on this Sunday afternoon, the American Legion Club, than he's had with some of the teams in the West Coast League. So good on Mid-Valley. Bases loaded, 1 out, a pitching change. We'll apprise you of it after a 2-minute pitching change break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Kai Hoskinson going to work. Longtime Beaver fan, now pitching at the University of Portland out of McMinnville. Kai Hoskinson taking over for Grant Clevenger. Brett Babbitt fouls the first pitch at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. The Knights leading 3-1, but that lead in jeopardy. Drew Rice at third, Aiden Metzger at second, Cam Johnson at first, 1 away. Tai Yukamoto has come in at shortstop, replacing Blake Wilson mid-inning. Hoskinson's breaking ball fouled at the plate. 1-2 the count. If you live or work in western or central Oregon counties, and you're entitled to the full membership and full financial services of Oregon State Credit Union. Oregon State Credit Union will once again sponsor the big fireworks show Wednesday night, 7:15 here. Make sure you get your tickets. 15 branches to serve your financial needs in the community. Our thanks to Oregon State Credit Union, the official credit union of the Corvallis Knights. Hoskinson delivers a breaking ball which misses, ball 2. The sun has emerged again as we go back and forth with the clouds today. The breeze is picking up a bit. The 2-2 pitch popped up on the right side. The infield fly rule invoked as Peyton Miller makes the catch for the second out. And Thomas Byler will be the batter.
Next up for the Southpaws, number 21, Thomas Byler.
Byler hit a little comebacker last inning off of Grant Clevenger, who leaves and will be leaving tomorrow for about a week-long trip. He'll be back in time for the Knights series after the Ridgefield series against the Bend Elks. First pitch missing, low and in, ball 1, 1-0 to Byler. I'm going to have to double check that. The Knights schedule in the days ahead. The 1-0 pitch on the way, that misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes with the bases loaded and 2 down. Ridgefield at Corvallis Tuesday and Wednesday, then at Ridgefield on Thursday. Then the Knights will have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. So that gives plenty of time for Grant to get back from his trip to see Garrett pitch in the big leagues in Kansas City. Hoskinson's 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3 to Thomas Byler. 3-1 Knights with the bases loaded and 2 down. The 3-0 pitch, and we get the green light for Byler. He taps one foul at the plate. The count 3-1. Thomas steps back in. Great opportunity here with the runners full, bases loaded, in a count of 3 balls and a strike. Drew Rice at third, Aiden Metzger at second, Camden Johnson at first, and 2 outs. 3 balls and a strike to Byler. Hoskinson comes to the plate, taken for a strike. And the count goes full to 3-2. So now the runners will be going on the pitch. Rice, Metzger, and Johnson poised to go. Hoskinson out of the stretch. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3, and a good changeup to retire the side. Mid-Valley, though, showing some real competitive grit today. They get a run. They leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the third. The Knights 3 and the Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Three to one Knights to the bottom of the third inning. Kaysen Concerina, Luke Lavin, and Kellen Siegel, the scheduled hitters for the Knights. With another good crowd on hand on a pleasant Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening at the ballpark. Nice to have you with us. The Knights will have tomorrow off and be back here on Tuesday. And remember, the big extravaganza Wednesday, fireworks. Tickets still remain. The big event presented by Oregon State Credit Union. Concerina taking the first pitch from Marcus Allen outside. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Now, Tuesday will be rodeo night presented by Scott and Angie and our friends at our sister station, 99.9 KRKT Cricket Country. Rodeo night. Not sure all that entails. It'll be safe, though. That's the important thing. Concerina takes the 2-1 pitch. A ball now hits a line drive, does Kaysen, knocked down by Marcus Allen. Allen stays with it, back of the mound, and throws Kaysen out. Good quick reaction on the part of Marcus Allen, getting a little bit of leather on the line drive to slow it down back up the middle. Nice job by Marcus. One away, and Hayes announcing our Benton County Schools Credit Union junior announcer in a very cute manner. Luke Lavin steps in and looks at a breaking ball away. Ball 1-0. Luke was hit by a pitch in the first. Concerina had an RBI ground out in the first. The Knights are running the first, 2 in the second. We're in the third. They lead at 3-1. Lavin a 2-hopper back at first. Fielded by Brett Babbitt. Throws the ball to Marcus Allen covering. 2 down. Kellen Siegel, the batter. after watching the last couple of ball games here, the Knights winning 21-4 and 18-0. It is true that those young men, and I think it's important to remind ourselves, those coming into play for the Cascade Collegiate All-Star team, they play on different teams, and then they kind of come together for competitions against West Coast League teams from their regular schedule in the CCL. And that may have something to do with less cohesiveness than what we're seeing from the Mid-Valley Southpaws, who've already played 16 games together. Kellen Siegel taking the first pitch strike in the count 0-1. Allen comes back and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kellen, who flied to deep left field in his first at-bat. The 1-1 pitch is drilled back up the middle. Again, Marcus Allen got a little bit of leather on it for a base hit through the box. That ball was smashed by Kellen. But Allen nearly knocked that one down, too, to give himself a chance. But that one had a little more exit velo to it. And C.J. Collier, who tripled and scored a run last inning, will come to the plate. 3-1 Knights in the bottom of the third. But just watching that play executed moments ago, 3-1. There goes Siegel. The pitch is high. The throw to second is not in time. Kellen getting the jump on Marcus Allen and the stolen base. But even an attempt, the transfer by Jenkins and the throw down to second, we don't take these things for granted when we think of what's in need of repair, said the great bard of the North, Bruce Coburn, in Small Source of Comfort. The 1-0 pitch misses a little bit high, ball 2-0. He says something to the effect, small source of comfort. Dawn was breaking in the air at 5:51 in the morning. And then the addendum, we don't take these things for granted when you think of what's in need of repair. Kind of an overall overarching look at life. The 2-0 pitch just missed, ball 3-0 to Collier. But just watching a clean 3-1 play, it was refreshing in that sense. The Mid-Valley Southpaws playing the game at a very cohesive level here early. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike to C.J. Collier. 3-1 the count. Kellen Siegel at second, 2 down, 3-1 Knights in the bottom of the third. As I headed out the door from the Knights office, he reminded Ed Nags and others, as Siegel heads to third, the pitch is low and inside for ball 4. 2 stolen bases in the inning. Collier will head down to first. Siegel getting a couple of them, and the batter will be Cole Snido. Brooks said, hey, we lost to these guys a few years ago. They can't. Well, no, he said, we almost lost. He said, we almost lost to these guys. It took a late eighth inning rally to beat them, so let's go. They're out here to win. They enjoy winning. Brooks said he's had a good time the last couple of nights, giving guys opportunities to get some good at-bats in, develop some confidence, winning 21-4 and 18-0. And they're having a tougher time kind of separating themselves here today against the Mid-Valley Southpaws. Tyler Howard fouls one back. He had taken over for Cole Snido, so it's Howard at the plate. Tyler ran for Cole last inning. Cole was hit by a pitch. No balls and a strike. Howard swings and drives one to center, deep but playable. Zach Lyon backs up to pull it in. Well struck ball, but an out. And to wit, the Knights, in terms of not being able to pull away, don't score here in the third and are in a pretty good tussle through 3. No runs, a hit, and 2 left. And with those stolen bases, by the way, $60, $30 each. Contribution made by the Knights and our friends at Papay Material Handling to Community Outreach, Inc. At the end of 3, the Knights 3 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors. Right-hander Kai Hoskinson working on Andrew Yost, who fouls the first pitch back. The 0-1 pitch is in there, and the count quickly 0-2 to Andrew, who waves at the 0-2 pitch, doesn't get it. The pitch was in the turf. The throw from Tyler Howard to Coulter McAnally puts the strikeout in the books, 2-3, 1 away. And Wyatt Jenkins will be the hitter. Wyatt struck out in the second. Hoskinson under the bright sunshine, which has returned, works out of the stretch with nobody on, and delivers down and away, ball 1. 1-0. 3-1 Knights in the fourth. Breeze is blowing out towards left center field. The 1-0 pitch is fouled at the plate, and the count 1-1. Hoskinson and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Coulter McAnally at first, Peyton Miller at second, Tai Yukamoto at short, Kaysen Consarini at third. The 1-1 breaking ball in the turf, ball 2. In the outfield, Houston Wheeler in left, C.J. Collier in center, Kellen Siegel in right, and Kellen deployed very shallowly in straightaway right. Pitch is swung on and fouled back of the plate. That evens the count at 2-2 to Wyatt Jenkins. Zach Lyon on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3-1 Knights in the fourth. Breaking ball, pop foul towards the upper grandstand above the Jack Riley concourse. Lands in the stands. And one fan who was closest to it just kind of leaned out of the way. Didn't want to make a play on the ball. Wise choice, actually. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. Good pitch by Kai Hoskinson. Riding down and in on Jenkins for back-to-back strikeouts now in the inning, and 3 straight punch-outs overall for Hoskinson. 2 down, nobody on. Zach Lyon struck out looking in the third. Hoskinson works out of the stretch, delivers a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count to Zach Lyon out of Lebanon High. Graduated last spring. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Zach nearly hit him. Fastball up and in. He spins out of the way to even the count. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Last night over 2,000 in the house. Will be less than that, but it's a good crowd here. The pitch is fouled at the plate. And the count to Zach moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dave and Tracy Boker sitting with Garrett Yukamoto. Garrett will leave tomorrow back home to Hilo. Been a great summer watching his son Ty at work out at shortstop and at the plate. The pitch missing for ball 2, 2-2 to Zach Lyon. Bryant Starr on deck for the Mid-Valley Southpaws. Hoskinson kicks and comes 2-2. Tap slowly foul towards Coach Babbitt. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Troy Babbitt growing up in Southern California, but has been in the Mid-Valley now for a good long run. 2-2 the count with 2 down. Zach Lyon waits, and the right-hander Hoskinson delivers. Fastball taken, strike 3 called. Hoskinson fans the side. He has struck out 4 straight Southpaws. We go to the bottom of the 4th under the sun on this late Sunday afternoon, early evening in the Mid-Valley. It remains the Knights 3 and Mid-Valley 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 4th inning, a new pitcher for the Mid-Valley Southpaws with the Knights leading by a score of 3-1. It'll be Drew Rice moving in from third base. So I'm trying to train the binoculars that Colby found for me in the McGrath family press box as to some of the defensive changes here. So I've got Aiden Metzger moving from second over to third, with Drew Rice moving from third to the mound. Andrew Yost is now in at second base. He had been the designated hitter. So I think that's the extent of the changes. Leading things off for the Knights in the bottom of the 4th is Houston Wheeler, the incoming freshman to Oregon State. Houston takes inside for ball 1. Houston drew a walk in the 2nd. The 1-0 pitch is lined into right center field for a base hit. Wheeler will take a turn and hold. Cam Johnson gets the ball back in. Houston a base hit to right to lead things off for the Knights. And Peyton Miller, who grounded into a double play in the 2nd, makes his way to the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Drew Rice and Wyatt Jenkins, the battery for the Southpaws. Brett Babbitt at first, Andrew Yost at second, Bryant Starr at short. Really like Bryant's game, his arm, the way he moves and plays. He's on his way to play for Petey at LB, is my understanding. Aiden Metzger at third, Thomas Byler in left, Zach Lyon in center, Cam Johnson in right. Breaking ball, short hop nicely by Wyatt Jenkins, down and away, ball 1 to Miller. 1-0 the count. 3-1 Knights in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch, a line drive towards the gap into left center field. Zach Lyon was playing very deep. This ball lands on a hop in front of him. Into third base easily goes Wheeler, and Peyton Miller wheels into second with a double. And Coulter McAnally will come to the plate. The depth of the Mid-Valley outfielders considerably deeper than that of what we've seen from the Knights players. I mean, they're way out there. So the ball was well hit, but what probably with a more conventional depth would have been a single. Too much turf for Zach Lyon to cover. And what appeared to be a base hit off the bat is a 2-base hit, with Coulter McAnally stepping in, swinging at the first pitch. and missing. 0-1 the count. But, well, center fielder Zach Lyon way out there. No balls and a strike. The antithesis of Tris Speaker, the Golden Eagle, soaring to the peaks. Zach Lyon in center, very deep and straight away. The 0-1 pitch to McAnally against the drawn-in infield, a comebacker, fielded by Drew Rice, who holds Wheeler at third and throws to first to get the out. Good play by Drew. One away in the bottom of the fourth, and Tai Yukamoto will get his first at-bat of the ball game. Blake Wilson had gone 0 for 2. Ty took over for Blake when the Knights made a pitching change to Kai Hoskinson in the third inning. The infield not quite at the edge of the green, but also in a little more than halfway. Yukamoto hits one back up the middle against the drawn-in infield, base hit. Wheeler scores, Peyton Miller will too, and Tai Yukamoto does it again. A 2-run single to center, and the Knights lead it 5-1. Ty is really locked in of late at the plate, making excellent contact. And that's a base hit that gives the Knights the breathing room that they've been looking to find for themselves. After winning handily the first 2 games of this 3-game non-league set, 21-4 and 18-0. They separate a bit more now here in the fourth at 5-1. Caden Siegel heading down towards the Knights bullpen. It looks as though he'll begin to throw. Tai Yukamoto held on at first by Brett Babbitt. The first pitch missing to Concerina. Tai is likely to look for a pitch to run on. He draws a throw and gets back. 1 ball and no strikes. 5-1 Corvallis in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch is lifted to left center field. Lyon again was very deep, a long run to make. He's not able to get it. The ball lands near the gap in left center field. Into third base goes Yukamoto, and Concerina into second. There's just no chance. That ball looked to me to be one that should result in an out, but Lyon's depth gives him no shot. I mean, he's way back there. And I don't know if that's, again, just, Troy Babbitt's an excellent coach and doing a tremendous job with the team, but that depth just, it feels like too much to me. And the Knights have had 2 doubles in the inning where they both might have been singles, but the depth has turned both of those swings into 2-baggers instead. The batter is Luke Lavin with runners at second and third. The Knights leading 5-1. The left fielder now, Thomas Byler, is way over in the alley in left center field. Luke takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. If Luke could find kind of a Wade Boggs type of swing and go the other way with it, he would have himself 2 RBIs easily. The pitch to Luke misses away, ball 2, 2-0. A 2-run single for Tai Yukamoto, putting the Knights up 5-1. Now the 2-0 pitch to Lavin with first base open, misses again, ball 3, 3-0. Kellen Siegel on deck, brother Caden down in the bullpen. The 3-0 pitch, Lavin is green lighted, a fly ball to shallow left field. Thomas Byler moves in and makes the catch. Tagging up and on his way to the plate to score is Tai Yukamoto. The throw to third not in time. Good thing, too, with the tag by Concerina. It was close. Had they called Concerina out, there would have been a decision. Did Yukamoto cross the plate before the out was recorded at third? It was about simultaneous in nature. But Concerina ruled safe. Yukamoto scores from third on the sacrifice fly by Luke Lavin. And the Knights lead it 6-1. 2 down in the inning for Kellen Siegel, who slid to left and singled to center and takes a breaking ball from Drew Rice for a strike. 0-1 the count. Rice to the plate. The 0-1 pitch is lifted to center field and playable for Zach Lyon. Zach is there to make the catch. The inning is over. But the Knights get 3, and do indeed get some breathing room, as we have played 4 in this non-league affair. 3 runs in the frame. We go to the 5th. The Knights 6 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1. On the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Six to 1 Knights as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Bryant Starr will lead things off. He has struck out and singled to left. He scored the lone run for Mid-Valley. Kai Hoskinson delivers a little bit low to him. Ball 1, 1-0. Just by watching Bryant Starr's movements out of Lebanon High and en route to LB, ball player that certainly bears watching in the days ahead in the Roadrunner program under Andy Peterson. The 1-0 pitch missing, ball 2, 2-0. 6-1 Knights, top of the 5th. Hoskinson delivers, swung on and missed. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Bryant Starr, Drew Rice, and Aiden Metzger before this good crowd. Pleasant Sunday evening. The 2-1 pitch, a chopper foul towards Coach Babbitt. The count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coach Babbitt remembering when he was a 6th grader watching in a classroom, he said. Now, I thought it was on a weekend, but he said it was a midweek game, and he remembers being in a class with the Henderson home run that beat Donnie Moore in Game 5 in '86. The 2-2 pitch missing for ball 3. So far be it for me to argue with his own memories of that moment. But whatever the case, it was an incredible game and series. The 3-2 pitch is ball 4. Nice job by Bryant Starr. Snaps a string of 4 straight strikeouts from Kai Hoskinson. And Drew Rice will come to the plate, and Brook Knight is on his way out to the mound. Whether that's just simply the end of the line for Hoskinson, with the Knights leading 6-1. I had mentioned that Caden Siegel was on his way to the bullpen moments ago, and Caden will come into the game now, so we'll have a 2-minute pitching change break coming up. But poor Donnie Moore, who gave up the home run, his life, honestly, now people, after this, therefore, because of this, post hoc ergo propter hoc, one of the great fallacies of all time. I understand that, but Donnie's life, after giving up the home run, he proceeded to get booed when he'd come into games after that. Ended up having a terrible domestic squabble situation just before he took his own life. And people have said, and even baseball players were angry to the writers, you writers never let him forget it. Donnie Moore, who gave up the home run. Donnie Moore gave up the home run. Broadcaster Donnie Moore gave up the home run. There were teammates and friends of Donnie's who felt that giving up that home run to Hendu, he was never the same again. It's a sad thought, certainly. The Knights go to their bullpen. Cohen Gomez will come in. We'll take a 90-second pitching change break. The Knights leading 6-1. That's it for Kai Hoskinson. Cohen Gomez loosening up. We'll be back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Cohen Gomez comes into the ball game and produces a double play ball on the first pitch. Drew Rice swinging at Cohen's first offering, and Tai Yukamoto hits second base after receiving the chopper, throws to first for the 6-3 double play ball. Aiden Metzger, the batter. And between innings, there was a Billy Joel song played. I wondered if anybody in the ballpark knew that it was Billy, and it's still rock and roll to me. One of Billy's of many great songs. The pitch now with 2 outs and nobody on. The Knights leading 6-1. Aiden Metzger fouls it into Urchin Alley over our heads. 0-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. 6-1 Knights. I asked around in the environs right around our vantage point. Gomez bounces his strike 2 pitch. And it was sort of, I don't know, I should know. And people, I don't know. And then Charlie Haley stepped up and said, that's Billy Joel. So congratulations to Charlie for identifying Billy. And it's still rock and roll to me. Cohen Gomez, I have no prize to give him, but I was just glad somebody knew it. Gomez missing low and in, ball 2, 2-2, 2 down, nobody on, 6-1 Knights in the 5th. Breeze is picking up, Gomez to the plate and misses again, ball 3, 3-2. He was 0-2, now it's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes for Cohen. Grant Clevenger, Kai Hoskinson, and Cohen Gomez in the game on the bump thus far on this pleasant Sunday night in Corvallis for the Knights. Cohen's 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4 to Metzger. Nice job by Aiden, working an 0-2 count, 2 ball 4. And that'll bring Cam Johnson to the plate, who's flied to center and drawn a walk. Those games in the 86 series, and those of you old enough to remember, I hope you, 86 postseason, the Astros and the Mets, the Angels and the Red Sox, the subsequent Classic World Series in 86, and the heartbreak for the Red Sox after Hendu's heroics, and it gets through Buckner and all of that. The 86 postseason, maybe the best postseason for the ALCS, NLCS, and World Series in terms of high drama combined ever. Cam Johnson takes ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, a strike, a throw down to first by Tyler Howard to Coulter McAnally, but Metzger gets back. 1-1 the count. Al Michaels called those games for ABC in the ALCS, and I can still remember his marveling over how good those games were. A shot back up the middle off the glove of Cohen Gomez, and no play for Peyton Miller coming in to retrieve behind the mound. So a base hit for Cam Johnson. Cam's having himself a good ball game with his mom Laura in the house and stepdad Ryan, the Beavers baseball operations director, sitting behind the Mid-Valley Southpaws dugout cheering him on. Good game for Cam. Metzger into second, Cam Johnson at first, Brett Babbitt the batter. Gomez delivers, Babbitt a good rip, fouls it straight back. 0-1 the count. I can remember Al saying, these games in Anaheim, however it is he said it, but AI's got him. I can't do them, but they fed AI. They gave him, he's going to do reports from the Paris Olympics, AI's voice, in Al Michaels' voice, AI Al, not Al, but an AI version of these games in Anaheim. A throw to second, and back to the bag goes Aiden Metzger safely. That's a little scary to me as a development in life. I've heard the AI version of Alfalfa Michaels, as Howard Cosell called him, one of the great broadcasters ever, and it sounds just like him, and that's a little unnerving. The strike 1 pitch, good breaking ball from Cohen in there for strike 2. 0-2 the count. I don't understand why. Because you can? Why do we need an AI version of Al Michaels? Why not give Al Michaels himself the reports and let him do them in his real, live, own voice? But they've got an AI version of it, so we'll get reports from Paris, from Michaels via AI. A pitch in the turf. Metzger breaks for third. Howard throws to Consarini at third for the out, and the inning is over. Probably too much in the risk-reward category. Metzger should have stayed put, down 6-1, but he tries to take advantage of the pitch in the turf and is thrown out to retire the side. But again, if somebody can explain just why it's important to have Al Michaels' presence in an AI version of Al rather than the real thing, I'm not sure I like the trends in life, but here we are. We go to the bottom of the 5th. the Knights 6, and Mid-Valley 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Okay. Woo! 6-1 Knights is bottom of the 5th inning. Drew Rice working on C.J. Collier, jumped ahead of C.J. 0-2, and then threw a breaking ball that C.J. tried to check his swing on, but base umpire Dan Clemens says no, he went around. Strike 3. C.J. Collier strikes out to open the bottom of the 5th. Now the first pitch to Tyler Howard, lifted to center. Zach Lyon in straightaway center, in perfect position, by the way, makes the catch. And just like that, 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. Houston Wheeler, who has walked, singled, and scored, comes to the plate. 6-1 Knights, bottom of the 5th inning. Drew Rice, the second pitcher of the day, following Marcus Allen. And again, I've just been very impressed with the competitive mettle of these Mid-Valley Southpaws. Rice, 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Drew to the plate and hits Houston Wheeler. And that'll bring Peyton Miller to the plate. Earlier today, Cole Snido was hit by a pitch and left the game. I'm hoping that it's nothing too serious, but he was clearly in a lot of pain getting hit in his left arm. He went to first, took his base, advanced to second, and then was lifted for a pinch runner. 3 hit batters today. Peyton Miller, the batter. Peyton has grounded into a double play and doubled. Zach Lyon has adjusted his depth a little bit this time around for Miller, not as deep as he was earlier. The pitch to Peyton, it doesn't matter. He rips one down the left field line into the corner. Houston Wheeler on his way to third and being waved around. The relay from Bryant Starr to the plate. Safe, says the home plate umpire, Ed Smith. Into third base on the throw to the plate goes Peyton Miller, and the Knights lead it 7-1. Pretty good execution of the relay. Thomas Byler to Bryant Starr and to the plate. Bryant not quite able to get the throw down enough. Had he been able to bring it down 6 inches or so, his catcher Wyatt Jenkins might have had a chance to make the tag ahead of the sliding Houston Wheeler. But Wheeler getting to show one of his great attributes, namely his speed in scoring from first base on the RBI double by Peyton Miller. 7-1 Knights. Coulter McAnally takes a breaking ball strike and the count 0-1. Miller going to third on the relay to the plate. Now the strike 1 pitch is hammered to left. Back goes Byler to the track, to the fence, off the top of the 14-foot fence. Peyton Miller scores, and into second base with a long double goes Coulter McAnally, and the Knights lead it 8-1. Well, 2 quick outs in the inning for Drew Rice. But then he hits Houston Wheeler and has yielded back-to-back doubles. And that'll bring to the plate Tai Yukamoto, who had a 2-run single in the 4th. Knights baseball presented by Smith Glass, a longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. The pitch on the way to Yukamoto, a ground ball to second, fielded by Andrew Yost. He throws to first, and the inning is over. Smith Glass, commercial and residential glass services, and on the cutting edge since 1945. With 2 outs and nobody on, the Knights get a hit batter and 2 doubles and push the lead. At the end of 5, it's the Knights 8 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Brett Babbitt leading things off, hits a one-hop shot back to Cohen Gomez, who fields and throws to first. 1 pitch and 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. The Knights leading the Mid-Valley Southpaws 8-1. Rylan Matheson out of West Albany High School will be the hitter now, batting for Thomas Byler. Matheson takes the first pitch for a strike, and the count 0-1. Top of the 6th. Cohen Gomez comes back and delivers strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Cohen working out of the stretch with nobody on. And the fastball misses outside, ball 1, 1-2. Andrew Yost on deck. Gomez works the third base side of the slab. It's not really a complete stretch. He looks as though he's in a stretch position, but he's actually just in sort of a Don Larson-esque short windup. He misses for ball 2, 2-2 to the right-hand hitting pinch hitter, Rylan Matheson. Cohen's 2-2 pitch, fastball taken, strike 3 called. 2 down. Andrew Yost will come to the plate. Yost has popped out and struck out. 8-1 Knights in the 6th. Cohen to the plate, hit sharply, back up the middle and into center field. Base hit. The 6th there to the ball game for the Mid-Valley Southpaws. And we may have another pinch hitter. I think we will. Austin Thompson, who is a catcher, an infielder out of West Albany High School. Austin will bat for Wyatt Jenkins. Wyatt had struck out in his 2 appearances. Now it's Austin Thompson getting a chance here in the 6th for the Southpaws. Fastball in there, knee high for a strike. 0-1 the count. The Mid-Valley Southpaws, sponsored by Southpaws Pizza in North Albany. The pitch missing in the turf, and the count 1-1. I have said when we've done radio shows there here, remotes on 1240 Joe Radio, Joe Beaver Road shows. We're lining some up, by the way, for when we return in late August for the 2024-25 season. Yours truly and John Warren look forward to being out and about in the community. The pitch in there for a strike and the count 1-2. Getting ready for one of the more intriguing, challenging athletic calendar years in the history of Beaver sports. Cohen Gomez 1-2 pitch, a chopper towards the second baseman, Peyton Miller. Peyton will throw to first and does to get Thompson and retire the side. But Southpaws, when you visit there, great food and like being in a sports museum, some of the best sports memorabilia I've ever seen. So allow yourself some time to walk around Southpaws and check out the incredible collection of memorabilia that they have there. It's like a museum, like I said, a mini version of the history of sports and a lot of great baseball stuff there. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 8-1 Knights on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Kaysen Concerina leads things off for the Knights in the bottom of the sixth. 8-1 Corvallis. Kaysen takes a strike. Rice comes back to the plate, off speed and swung on and missed. Drew Rice ahead of the count to Kaysen. No balls and 2 strikes. Kaysen an RBI ground out in the first is hit back to the box and doubled to center. Swings at the strike 2 pitch, a 2-hopper to Metzger at third. Andrew throws low and the ball goes by Brett Babbitt. And Kaysen is aboard on the first error of the ball game. It's been a well-played game, clean by both clubs. But that one a bit wild, uncorked by Metzger. And Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, the batter. Luke has been hit by a pitch, 1 of 3 to get plunked here today. Has grounded to first and had a sacrifice fly. 8-1 Knights, bottom of the sixth. Drew Rice set. Lavin takes a strike, a late break by Concerina, but he gets in safely anyway. And with that, another contribution made by our friends at Papay Material Handling, teaming up with the Knights to support Community Outreach, Inc. with every stolen base. Thank you, Devante, taking care of my Maslow hierarchy of needs. Baseball is providing, the self-actualization, but the first rung is food and water. He's just brought me at least a little food and a beverage with soda in it, ice in it, I should say, for the soda that he brought up. Thank you, Devante. Pitch is in there for strike 2 to Luke. 0-2 the count. 8-1 Knights, bottom of the sixth. The strike 2 pitch bounces. Good block by the new catcher, Austin Thompson. Out in left field now, Rylan Matheson. 1-2 the count. And the 1-2 pitch twists Luke away and off the plate for ball 2, 2-2. Kaysen Concerina at Second base, nobody out in the bottom of the sixth. Time called. Luke backs out of the box. Drew Rice ready, comes to the plate, off speed and away. Ball 3, 3-2. Cole Stringer looks down into the Corvallis Knights bullpen, peers down to see what might be going on down there. I'm not sure that he got a good look. He steps back into the dugout now. The 3-2 pitch is rolled foul past Coach Eddie Nags. Ed retrieves. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Concerina at second, nobody out. 3-2 pitch. Lavin takes a big rip and fouls the breaking ball back. Hangs in, 3-2 the count. Kellen Siegel on deck. Kellen, my pregame show guest. No game tomorrow. Tuesday, our pregame show guest will be Eliana Gottlieb. Ellie, 3 years in the Oregon State softball program, has graduated, is in the transfer portal, and in fact has been accepted at Georgia Tech. Lavin swings, and it's a high hooking drive down the right field line. Into foul territory goes Cam Johnson. I think Cam caught it. Nice catch by Johnson. He disappeared out of my sight. Tagging up is Concerina and goes to third, but a good catch by Cam in foul grounds. The Knights do get a productive out, though, off the bat of Lavin. And the batter will be Kellen Siegel, with the Knights leading 8-1 and looking to add to it. Kellen has flied to left, single to center, fly to center. He whacks this one to left field for a base hit. Concerina trots home, and Kellen Siegel with another run batted in. The Knights lead it 9-1. Eliana is part of the analytics team for the Corvallis Knights, along with Colby the binoculars hunter and Sawyer Gowan. Colby found the binoculars, by the way. I can't remember Colby's last name. I do know Sawyer Gowan and Eliana. Here's a ground ball to third off the bat of C.J. Collier. To second for one, on to first, not in time. Collier, a good athlete, just beating the double play possibility. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. Siegel trots off the diamond. Collier replaces him at first with 2 down. Eliana Gottlieb will be our pregame show guest on Tuesday, sharing her thoughts about her fascination with numbers and analytics and about the opportunity ahead for her going into the transfer portal at the end of this past season for the Oregon State softball team, and now heading to Atlanta. She's originally from Newport Beach. We'll get Eliana's interesting story for our pregame show on Tuesday. Tyler Howard, the batter, came into the game as a pinch runner in the second, scored a run, has flied to center twice at the plate. He takes a breaking ball from Drew Rice down and away, ball 1. 9-1 Knights in the bottom of the sixth. Drew out of the stretch. The 1-0 pitch, a line drive, base hit to right field. C.J. Collier will be held at second. Cam Johnson gets the ball back in. Good swing by Tyler Howard going the other way. The Knights with runners at first and second, and 2 down for Houston Wheeler. 9 runs and 12 hits now for the Knights. A run and 6 hits for the Mid-Valley Southpaws. Houston has walked, singled to right and scored, been hit by a pitch and scored. The Knights have scored at least a run in every inning save the third. Change up in there for a strike, and the count 0-1 from Drew Rice to Houston. Wheeler scoring from first base last inning on a double by Peyton Miller. Really exciting to see him picking him up and laying him down. Good speed for Houston. It was fun to watch. The strike 1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Those types of things in baseball and the major league level, base running, they're trying to stimulate it, limiting throws over, making the bags bigger. Stolen base numbers are up, but we're still missing doubles and triples. Exciting plays in the game. Still, it feels like, I don't know, if baseball is going to correct itself offensively. TJ Mathewson, the young Mariners fan and friend, was saying today is struggles watching the Mariners at the plate offensively, hoping that offenses will correct themselves. A pop-up on the infield, and the shortstop, Bryant Starr, who has played good baseball today, was in trouble from the start on that one. He backed up, the wind blowing, the sun bright, and Starr, I never felt was comfortable on that play, and he drops the ball at shortstop for an error, the second of the inning. Houston Wheeler is aboard on the air. Tyler Howard stops at second, and Coach Babbitt on his way to the mound. 2 errors in the inning on the Mid-Valley Southpaws. And whether Coach Babbitt's going to make a pitching change here or whether this is just sort of a pep talk for the guys to kind of shake it off and get back to playing the clean baseball they had demonstrated through the first 5 innings, I know not. But Coach Babbitt has had his say. 2 errors in the inning. So the Knights have an unearned run already on the board. They've scored 2 runs in the inning, and they're both unearned. So anything that goes on here, unearned in nature, and it looks like we will see a pitching change. Bryant Starr, who just dropped the pop-up, comes from shortstop to pitch. We'll take a pitching change break and be back in 60 seconds. Back in 60 in 1 minute on the Knights live stream in Joe Radio. The pitcher and shortstop exchange positions. Drew Rice goes to short. Bryant Starr comes from shortstop to pitch. 2 runs in the inning, 10-1 Knights. Runners at first and second and 2 down. And now the new pitcher, Bryant Starr, wants to talk to his battery mate, Austin Thompson, to make sure they're on the same page. So Austin goes out to the mound for a conversation with Bryant. Bottom of the 6th. The Knights opening up a 10-1 lead. 2 errors in the inning. So both runs unearned. Anything else that would score would be unearned. The pitch to Miller popped up down the left field side. Moving over is Drew Rice, hustling for it. The ball lands in foul territory. No balls and 1 strike. There is an article today in the Seattle Times, speaking of the Mariners and their woes. I haven't had a chance to get to it. I've flagged it, want to read it later. How often do you do that in life and then never get to the later? I'm afraid it's too common for yours truly. But the article is about how Scott Service, the manager of the Mariners, uses analytics during games. The strike 1 pitch goes off the mitt of the catcher, Austin Thompson, to the backstop. On the wild pitch, Tyler Howard into third, Wheeler into second, Peyton Miller with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 on and 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. But whatever the analytics are spitting out, the numbers are not impressive for the Mariners offensively. They are woeful. I looked at their batting averages today at the start of the game and getting the rare luxury of being able to watch an MLB game, not quite from start to finish, but almost. The pitch missing 2 and 1. The Mariners' batting average is paltry, up and down, 1 through 9. Pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 2-2. But it was just a really sad sight. Seattle's leading hitter was at 257. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball hits Peyton Miller, the fourth hit batter for the Knights this early evening. That loads him up. Colter McAnally will be the hitter. And just looking at lineups, I picked one other game, a random game. What's going on in Major League Baseball with the vanishing hitters? And I remember Stephen Jay Gould wrote an essay about the disappearance of the 400 hitter in Major League Baseball and why Ted Williams was the last to do it in 41 and how difficult hitting is and all of the studies. And he wrote that in the mid to late 80s, the late great paleontologist, the disappearing 400 hitter. Well, somebody ought to write one about the disappearing 300 hitter. There's only 13 of them out among nearly 400 Major League position players now. 13. First pitch with the bases loaded to Colter McAnally misses. Now the 1-0 offering produces a fly ball to left. Rylan Mathieson moves over to make the catch. The inning is over. But up and down the Cardinals lineup, their hitters 1 through 9, 286, 278, 262, 225, 264, 262, 187, 191, and 234. The Reds 278, 252, 243, 241, 176, 274, 236, 190, and 182. That's low, folks, very low. The Knights get 2 more. We go to the 7th. Corvallis in good shape again in this non-league affair. At the end of 6th, the Knights 10 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
We'll see a new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights as we move to the 7th inning. It'll be Caden Siegel, 6', 210-pounder out of the University of Portland, the Corvallis Knights, Grant High School, LB. Caden Siegel is the new pitcher and will face Zach Lyon to lead things off as we go to the 7th inning. Caden delivers and a fastball in there for a strike to Zach. Zach has struck out in both of his plate appearances. The 0-1 pitch on the way from Caden. A chopper slowly up along third. Consarinia charges and has the ball go in and out of his glove for what I presume will be a error scored on Consarinia. Now, had he fielded cleanly, I think he would have been able to throw out Zach Lyon. And so Brooks Hatch does indeed write down E5. And the batter is Bryant Starr, the pitcher now. Siegel to the plate. Starr hits one on a couple of hops to Peyton Miller, goes to Yukamoto for one, on to first for the double play. So quick bit of work on the Keystone combination to take care of the error by Case and Concerina. 4-6-3 double play ball. Miller to Yukamoto to McAnally. 2 down in the top of the 7th, 10-1 Knights. Drew Rice fouls the first pitch at the plate. No balls and a strike. Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 10 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. The Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 run, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Siegel delivers. Good slider swung on and missed. The count to Drew, no balls and 2 strikes. Drew's had a good ball game. Singled in the first, singled home. The Southpaws run in the third. Swings protectively and hits one near the Omaha room into the alley to the right. No balls and 2 strikes to Drew Rice. 10-1 Knights in the 7th. Caden to the plate. Fouled at the plate. Good job by Drew to keep the at-bat alive. Smells like movie popcorn around here for some reason. I'm not sure if somebody has brought in. But I feel like I'm at the cinema, which I don't get to too often anymore. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. See a lot of movies, but not in the cinema. The strike 2 pitch tapped foul. I do miss and want to this summer. I was sharing with my family the other day. You know what I want to do this summer? What, Dad? Well, other than float the river, I want to go to a drive-in movie somewhere. There aren't too many somewheres to go anymore with that. Rice fouling one at the plate again, 0-2, 2 down. Fastball fouled straight back. You know, in the great song by Joe South, Don't It Make You Want to Go Home, he talks about the drive-in show where the river used to flow and the strawberries used to grow wild. Now we're all longing and nostalgically for the drive-in movie that supplanted the Meadow back in the day for Joe South. The strike 2 pitch to Rice, poked back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Drew Rice with a good at-bat. He has 3 hits. And the batter will be Aiden Metzger with a 2-out single for Drew Rice. He's 3 for 4 on the day. 10-1 Knights in the 7th. A drag strip down by the riverside where my grandma's cow used to graze, right? Great song, Don't It Make You Want to Go Home. One of the best ever, as far as I'm concerned. The strike 1 pitch to Aiden Metzger. Breaking ball, check, swing, no swing, says Dan Clements. 1-1 the count. But that song's old enough now that we hanker nostalgically for drive-in movies, which were a thing that intruded upon the pastoral scenes back when Joe penned the tune circa 1970. Pitch in there for a strike and the count 1-2. So where are they? I missed the one in Lebanon greatly. The 1-2 breaking ball, good pitch. Strike 3 called and the inning is over. Newburgh? Anywhere else in the Beaver State for a drive-in movie theater? I think they still have one in Newburgh. But that's what I want to do this summer. Float the river and see a drive-in movie. And other than that, I'm good. Good pitching by Caden Siegel. A nice at-bat for Drew Rice. No runs, a hit, an error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Knights 10 and Mid-Valley 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Blake Wilson takes the first pitch from right-hander Bryant Starr inside. The 1-0 pitch from the erstwhile shortstop in there for a strike to Blake. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to, yeah, it is Blake Wilson. Not quite sure what's going on in terms of Blake being back at the plate now. I guess the rules are a little lax. Blake started the game at short, went away. Tai Yukamoto came in. Now Blake back in. I don't think we're going to have a protestation by cousin Babbitt. The pitch missing to even the count at 2-2 to Blake Wilson back at the plate. 2-2 pitch is inside for ball 3, 3-2. Blake is trying to say that ball hit me. And Ed Smith walks out and will confer with his partner, Dan Clements. Now, I'm not sure Dan, from where he was, well behind the bag at first, that he could see something that Ed Smith, a couple of feet from the hitter, Blake Wilson, that maybe there was an angle. And now we're being told, yeah, go ahead and take your base. So apparently Ed Smith was a little blocked from getting to see Blake get hit by that pitch. Blake is okay, which is the important thing. But he did convince Ed Smith to at least ask for help on that. And now Blake's been given his base. And Blake returning to the game. He left for a while and is back in. It's nice that life works out that way occasionally, this non-league affair providing that kind of scenario. Kaysen Consarenia takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Kaysen has an RBI ground out, is hit back to the box, doubled and been aboard on an error, takes a breaking ball, strike 2. 0-2 the count to Kaysen. The Knights have been hit 4 times tonight. In one instance, one of the players left the game and has not returned. Breaking ball misses in the count 1-2 to Kaysen Consarenia. Kaysen pulls one foul. Stays up there 1-2. That was Cole Snido, hit by a pitch in the second, replaced by Tyler Howard. Cole has not returned. And apparently leaving a game doesn't mean you're done, at least in the way Coach Babbitt and his cousin Brooke have chosen to go about this one tonight. A throw to first base. Blake Wilson dives back to the bag. 10 runs, 12 hits, an error for the Knights. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Southpaws. The pitch is lifted into shallow center field for a base hit. Zach Lyon plays it on a couple of hops. Into second base goes Blake. Kaysen Consarenia with a single to center, the Knights' 13th hit. 2 on and nobody out for Luke Lavin. Lavin, one of the hitties tonight, hit in the first inning. A sacrifice fly in the fourth. Fouled out to deep right in the sixth. 2 on and nobody out. Zach Lyon has significantly adjusted his depth out in right center. I mean, he is much closer than when I was observing his disposition earlier in the game. Much more conventional positioning now for Zach in right center field, medium depth. Lavin takes a strike, 0-1 the count. 10-1 Knights in the bottom of the 7th. Starr delivers inside. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. A night off for the Knights tomorrow. Back at it on Tuesday against Ridgefield. Rodeo night here, 6:35. 7:15 on Wednesday with a big fireworks show presented by Oregon State Credit Union to follow. A 7:15 start. Lavin takes the 1-1 pitch away for ball 2, 2-1. Bryant Starr from the stretch comes to the plate. Breaking ball up. Ball 3, 3-1. Starr delivers and Lavin fouls it back. Luke, I do not believe, is related to the former UCLA and St. John's head coach Steve Lavin. Steve was one of my favorite people to come through the Pac-10 conference at UCLA. The 3-2 pitch, Lavin slashes it foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So many ways one could go with reflecting on this today, the final day officially of the Pac-12 networks, and the final day of the Pac-12 as we have known it. The Pac-12 brand continues with Washington State and Oregon State constituting the Pac-12 as a 2-member conference with 2 years to either rebuild or Washington State and Oregon State getting assimilated elsewhere, and then the conference would indeed be no more. It still exists now, a 2-member conference. The pitch fouled at the plate by Luke Lavin. 3-2 the count. 2 on, nobody out. The 3-2 pitch is high to load him up. And Kellen Siegel will be the batter. Steve Lavin, big personality. Really nice person, engaging person. And I remember Jim Rome called Steve Roach Lavin. Rome's been doing his thing for a long time, and Jim called him Roach Lavin because, like a cockroach, he would survive kind of shaky starts and what appeared to be poor years. His UCLA teams would make runs in the tournament, at least get to the Sweet 16 and give Steve another year and then another year. The first pitch missing to Kellen Siegel. Off speed, swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. But just thinking about all the images and memories in this league, I remember Steve Lavin and Richie McKay going crazy over at Gill Coliseum. The 1-1 pitch is in the turf. Austin Thompson finds the ball glancing away to his left to keep the bases loaded. Wilson at third, Consarini at second, Lavin at first, nobody out. Lou Campanelli was a supervisor of officials and was at Gill one night. Sitting at mid-level, and I remember Richie McKay for Oregon State and Steve Lavin, when bad calls were made on the court, turning around and yelling up to Lou at mid-level. A little comebacker speared by Starr. Excellent play. He throws to the plate to Austin Thompson, who drops the ball, and everybody's safe. That should be E2, and Thompson giving himself a self-talk. Great play by Bryant Starr. He's athletic. He made a very good play to backhand the ball and throw to the plate. And it looks as though Brooks Hatch is going to give the benefit of the doubt to Kellen Siegel and an RBI on an infield single. And that is a generous bit of scoring. Blake Wilson coming in to score. The Knights lead it 11-1. The bases remain loaded with nobody out. But Austin Thompson, the catcher, will tell you he should have caught that throw from his battery mate, and had he done so, there would have been an out at the plate on the fours. C.J. Collier takes the 1-0 pitch down and away for ball 2. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. It was just amusing to me circa 2000, 2001 that the coaches arguing calls were yelling up to Lou Campanelli about the officials he'd put on the floor that night. A ground ball to first, a throw to the plate from Babbitt gets by Austin Thompson. 1 run comes in to score. Consarini down the line from third. The Knights lead it 12-1. C.J. Collier is aboard on the fielder's choice, E3. I don't think he'll get an RBI on that one. The third error of the night now in Mid-Valley, and the batter will be Tyler Howard with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Starr to the plate, breaking ball up and in, ball 1, 1-0. If we go to the ABS system in baseball, our coaches, managers going to be yelling at a machine somewhere. Howard drills one toward the gap into right center field. Cam Johnson over to cut it off, but 2 runs will score. Luke Lavin and Kellen Siegel coming in on the long single by Tyler Howard. And the Knights lead it 14-1. So the game is taking on after a while. It took longer this evening than the previous 2 games, but it is taking on the sort of dimensions that we saw against CCL, with the Knights winning 21-4 and 18-0. They lead this one 14-1. They've scored in every inning but the third. Coach Babbitt is on his way to the mound, and he is going to bring in another pitcher out of the bullpen. Bryant Starr sort of deserved a better fate in the inning, it would seem. A couple of plays that probably should have resulted in outs at the plate have not. Bryant himself made a very good play and was not rewarded for it. So the Knights are indeed pulling away in a big way here in the 7th. A new pitcher coming in. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. The Knights 14, the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Right-hander Cam Garrett out of West Albany High School, graduating this past June, comes to the bump here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Knights a run in the first, 2 in the second, a goose egg in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 4 here in the 7th. Still nobody out, leading 14-1. Houston Wheeler takes the first pitch from Cam Garrett. Low and inside, 1-0 the count. First and third, C.J. Collier at third, Tyler Howard at first, Houston Wheeler the batter. He swings and drills one to right field. Moving over is Cam Johnson to make the catch. Collier tags and will, oh my gosh. I don't know if Coach Knight put the brakes on him, but Collier stopped. And that could be familial and the love and affection of cousin to cousin. I think Collier could have scored on that line drive to right. Cam Johnson, a good athlete, good player, good arm, but I don't think Collier would have been thrown out. But Brook Knight up 14-1 in the 7th did not send Collier. So Houston Wheeler does not get the sacrifice fly, hit the ball well, a line out to right. Peyton Miller takes ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, a little bit high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And that's the only thing I can ascribe Brook not sending CJ there. I don't think he feared a double play at the plate. Here's a fly ball to center. This one, is he going to hold him again? Nope. This one caught in center by Lyon, and Collier tags and scores. So maybe he was a little concerned about Cam Johnson throwing Collier out from the vantage point that Cam caught the ball in right on the previous line drive by Wheeler. Because here, Peyton Miller's fly ball, Brook does not hesitate in sending Collier, who scores, and the Knights lead it 15-1. Coulter McAnally, the 9th player to come to the plate in the inning. Tyler Howard at first, 2 down, 5 runs in the frame. Coulter takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Coulter has doubled and scored, singled home a run, grounded out, doubled again to drive in a run, and flied to left. Cam Garrett to the plate. Breaking ball misses. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Rodeo night here Tuesday after an off night tomorrow. Fireworks Wednesday, brought to you by Oregon State Credit Union. A fly ball down the right field line, a long run for Cam Johnson and too long. He plays it near the foul line in deep right field. Howard will stop at third. And into second base goes Coulter McAnally with an opposite field double. The Knights leading 15-1, have 15 hits. And they have run roughshod in these non-league games. And as Brooke Knight has said, baseball's tricky enough. Brooke shared with me before the game. I asked him just sort of what he takes from these games when they're winning big. And like a competitor and like a guy who wants to see his guys play well. And he says, well, first of all, I like that our guys are having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They're getting a little bit of break from the grind and the pressure. The pitch to Blake Wilson, who began the inning getting hit by a pitch. But he said, we've had tough games in these non-league affairs in the past. And he said, so he's happy to see them win big. 21-4 2 nights ago, 18-0 yesterday. They lead this one 15-1. The strike one pitch to Blake from Cam Garrett is a breaking ball up. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at second and third and 2 down. The pitch on the way is a soft liner into left field for a base hit. Tyler Howard scores. Coulter McAnally will stop at third. The Knights lead it 16-1 on the RBI single to left for Blake Wilson. It does feel as though, and maybe we're at that point now, and it could just be from, just the pure aesthetics of a fan watching a ball game. At a certain point, it feels like the returns diminish a bit when you're winning like this on a regular basis. This is 3 straight games now that are just, in the end, even though I liked the spirit and the battle shown by this Mid-Valley Southpaws club, in the end, the talent, the experience, all of those things the Knights have end up winning the day and putting the Knights into the kind of position they're in now. But Brooke has said, again, you don't take that for granted, and they've had games where they've really had to fight to win against Mid-Valley and against some of the other non-league teams. Not these last 3 days by any stretch of the imagination. Concerina swings at the 1-1 pitch, fouls it back, and the count 1-2. 6 runs in the inning. 16-1 Knights in the bottom of the 7th. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Out of the stretch works Cam Garrett. The 1-2 pitch, punched in the air, foul off first. Brett Babbitt moving over to make the catch. And the inning is over. But the Knights get 6. They leave 2. We go to the 8th. The Knights 16 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Caden Siegel to Cam Johnson. Cam takes low for ball one, a 1-0 fastball. Swung out and missed. 1-1 the count. Top of the 8th inning, the Knights 16 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1. Caden delivers down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Cam Johnson, Brett Babbitt, and Rylan Mathieson, the scheduled hitters. Popped up. And this will land just a few feet from yours truly. You can hear it bouncing around, perhaps. I was trying to get myself in a position to make the play, but the wind kind of pushed it back. And so the count goes to 2-2. Siegel delivers, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Good pitch from Caden. He struck out Aiden Metzger looking to end the 7th, and he gets Cam Johnson looking to start the 8th. Brett Babbitt, the batter. Brett is 0 for 4. 16 runs, 16 hits, and an error for the Knights. A run, 7 hits, 3 errors for Mid-Valley. First pitch fastball in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Siegel back to the plate. Slider just misses, and the count 1-1. Caden working quickly. The right-hander back to the plate, breaking ball away, ball 2. Grant Clevenger, Kai Hoskinson, Cohen Gomez, and now Caden. Bright sun, and Houston Wheeler dealing with out and left. The 2-1 pitch is swung out and missed by Brett Babbitt. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Very shallow deployment for C.J. Collier in center. The 2-2 fastball away, ball 3, 3-2. (16-1) Knights in the 8th. The breezes have picked up considerably. Siegel delivers, and Babbitt went after what would have been ball 4. Fouls it straight back to keep the at-bat alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good crowd again, 1,498 on this early Sunday evening. 3-2 pitch, a fly ball to right field. Kellen Siegel backpedals and makes the catch. So Caden delivers the pitch. Brother Kellen makes the play in right. And Papa Dan, I'm sure, happily watching as he works the ballpark, as usual, walking through the Jack Riley concourse somewhere. I don't see him at the moment, but I've seen him off and on throughout. The founder of the Knights, what a great story it's been. Rylan Mathieson swings and fouls one back. 2 outs, nobody on. I really enjoyed the conversation with Bree Kirkvliet Miller last night. 17 years with the organization, has finally stepped away, semi-retirement. If she says she rides horses along the trail every day in Bend, that's a good life. The pitch, a strike, and the count 0-2 to Rylan Mathieson. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3, and the inning is over. But she reflected, I thought, very eloquently on just what it has meant to be part of the Knights, what a big part of her life it's been, how proud she is. A couple of years ago, the Knights recognized as the Corvallis Business of the Year, and it's certainly a great gift that Dan Siegel, the Siegel family, Phil and Penny Knight, all of the sponsors, all of the people that have committed to the vision that Dan had and has seen fulfilled in such a beautiful way. On a beautiful Sunday evening, another 1,500 in the ballpark. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Been a good time tonight and for the last 17 years. The Knights 16, the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The first pitch to Luke Lavin, a line drive to right field, right at Camden Johnson, and maybe that was the problem. The liner right at him, and Camden was in position, but he drops the line drive to open the bottom of the 8th. Luke Lavin aboard on the 4th error of the night for Mid-Valley. Cam Garrett to the plate and misses to Kellen Siegel with a breaking ball for ball 1. Kellen's had another good night, singled and stole a base in the 3rd, and has back-to-back RBI singles. He delivers a strike, does Cam Garrett to Kellen. 1 ball and 1 strike, bottom of the 8th, 16-1 Knights. Chopper foul up along 3rd. Brooke Knight uses the foot to slow things down. And the count goes to 1-2. 16-1 Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. A little disappointing, I'm sure, for Coach Babbitt and his club in that they did, I thought, and had made comment about, playing the game very well and cleanly through much of it. But here in the end, it's gotten away from them a little bit, just in terms of the crispness and some miscues on the field. But it's a good-looking club. They're 10-6 in Legion play during the regular season, and I hope they've benefited from and enjoyed the experience here at Goss tonight. The pitch foul down the left field line off the bat of Kellen Siegel. The 1-2 pitch missing. Ball 2, 2-2. C.J. Collier on deck. 16-1 Knights in the 8th. Kellen swings and fouls it back to stay up there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I see Dan, he's poking his head out to my left outside of the McGrath family press box, watching his son at the plate, and watches Kellen take in the turf. Ball 3, 3-2. What a beautiful symmetry, not fearful. The poet Blake spoke of fearful symmetry. Beautiful symmetry in the Siegel family when it comes to their baseball experiences. Kellen is rung up on the 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called, 1 gone. C.J. Collier will be the hitter. Dan founded the Aloha Knights, played for the Aloha Knights. Dan went to LB. Both of his sons have gone to LB. It's just, and both are playing on the Knights together again this summer. The pitch to Collier, a little pop-up into shallow center field. Going out is the second baseman, Andrew Yost, to make the catch. Nice play. 2 down. And Tyler Howard will make his way to the plate. And it just must be for Dan and Courtney, Kellen and Caden's folks, just a thrill to see the experiences they're getting to have together as teammates again. And it has indeed been a beautiful baseball story, a family story in our community for many years here now. And we hope you're planning on being part of it coming Tuesday night, rodeo night, and next Wednesday, 7:15 fireworks night. Tyler Howard taking the first pitch from Cam Garrett, low for ball 1. Cam comes back and misses again low to Tyler, ball 2. Tyler's had a good ball game, drove in 2 runs in his last at-bat. He lifts one to right field here. Camden Johnson moves back a few steps and makes the catch. The inning is over. We go to the 9th. The Knights are 3 outs away from putting this non-league game into the books after defeating CCL 21-4 and 18-0. We go to the 9th. The Knights 16 and the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
C.J. Collier will get an opportunity to finish this ball game for the Corvallis Knights, the Northwest Conference Player of the Year out of Pacific University. Warming up with Tyler Howard, the Knights leading by a score of 16-1. I was just working through my scorecard and have been prompted by Evan Bach, one of our producers of the live stream tonight. Evan working with Andrew Roderick, Brian Thomas to get the live stream out. And Evan was asking in my ear, who is the Washington Park Advisors player of the game? Normally I've had Delaney or Taylor or Devontae or somebody coming up earlier than this to ask me, but Evan has asked. And I was just going through my scorecard, Evan, trying to come up. I mean, there's a lot of choices up 16-1, so I'm going to have to keep studying here. I'll give it to you in a moment before we're done. C.J. Collier delivers a strike two pitch to Andrew Yost, who fouls it at the plate, and the count remains 0-2. The strike two pitch hit softly into the mitt of Coulter McAnally. Here comes Delaney to ask me the same question, Evan, right now. So the pressure's on. Nice play by Coulter. One away. So Delaney walking up, looking at her phone. Young people have that uncanny ability, much more than, I mean, I don't even try it. But the ability to walk on a sidewalk, walk across through a crosswalk, walk everywhere while looking at the phone at the same time. I marvel as I drive by or jog by or walk by. What are they looking at? What exactly are people looking at? Pitch swung on and missed in the count 0-1, and the strike one pitch is in there in the count 0-2. Why is that posture? People walking and the phone in their left hand, walking and looking as they go. What is it they're looking at? Strike two pitch swung on and missed, strike three. I'm sure it's fascinating and entertaining and all of that. 2 down here in the top of the ninth. The Knights leading 16-1. But I still do wonder, what is it? Why is it that phone is just out there in that posture as kids walk? What are they looking at constantly? 2 down, and here we go. Zach Lyon, the batter. Fastball for a strike. Delaney, I'm trying to figure it out. There's a lot of candidates here. Yeah, maybe the pitch is missing in the count 1-1. Peyton Miller. Let's go with Peyton Miller tonight. Amongst many of the choices we could have gone with, we'll go with Peyton. Pitch swung on and fouled back. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. 16-1 Knights in the ninth. Collier a strike away from putting this one in the books. CJ delivers, breaking ball down. So, Evan, I told Delaney, but I'm telling you as well, Peyton Miller tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The right-hander ready, the 2-2 fastball. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. And the Knights get a clean sweep of the 3 non-league games. 16 runs, 16 hits, and 1 error. 1 run, 7 hits, and 4 errors for the Mid-Valley Southpaws. Mid-Valley gave it a pretty good effort through the first 4 or 5 innings, made some good plays, showed a good approach offensively. But in the end, the Knights' talent and experience and depth and all of that prevailed. The cousins shake hands and give each other a quick hug at home plate. Head coach Troy Babbitt, first cousins with Knights head coach Brooke Knight. The Knights do indeed take care of business in the end, winning by a final score of 16-1. Peyton Miller, amongst many choices and candidates, our Washington Park Advisors player of the game, doubled and scored in the 4th, doubled and drove in a run in the 5th, had a sacrifice fly in the 7th. So the Corvallis Knights end up winning the ball game by a final score of 16-1. getting excellent pitching from Grant Clevenger, Kai Hoskinson, Cohen Gomez, Caden Siegel, and in the end, C.J. Collier, and plenty of offense along the way as well. So the Knights have some fun over these last 3 non-league games, 21-4, 18-0, and 16-1. But as always in the West Coast League, the Knights, who have already clinched the first half championship, have 3 games to play to end the first half schedule, and that begins with Rodeo Night, presented by our sister station 99.9 KRKT, coming up on Tuesday at 6:35. And be sure to get your tickets. Some tickets do remain. CorvallisKnights.com at the Corvallis Knights offices. Get your tickets and be prepared to enjoy Knights baseball on Wednesday night at 7:15 against Ridgefield, with the Oregon State Credit Union fireworks extravaganza to follow. And competition certainly will step up considerably. The Knights getting back to the more serious business of West Coast League play on Tuesday. But it's been a fun 3 nights. We appreciate all of you following along and look forward to seeing you on Rodeo Night here on Tuesday. For Evan Bach, Andrew Roderick, Brian Thomas, Garrett Dworshak, and company, this is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us, where tonight the Knights take care of business again. Final score, the Knights 16, the Mid-Valley Southpaws 1. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you Tuesday night right back here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.